Hi, I'm Melissa Muir. I've had the privilege of working with Pepetools for a little over a year now, and I'm so astounded by the wonderful tools that they continue to come out with. One of the things that I find in my studio that I cannot live without is a ring mandrel. And whether you are working with a ring mandrel in your own home studio or you have a store, it is important to make certain that your ring mandrels are calibrated so that when you take a customer's ring or are coming up with a ring for somebody else, that their size is matched perfectly. One of the things I really like about the series of ring mandrels that Pepetools has come out with is that they are calibrated. And it doesn't matter which ring mandrel you have, you can take a ring and place it onto that mandrel and get a consistent size. So you'll see here I have 5 different ring mandrels, and there are actually 3 different styles here. So we have a grooved ring mandrel. These are great for if you have stones or beads that are on a piece that you want to make certain that you don't damage. You also have the traditional round ring mandrel, and they've come out finally with a new square mandrel, which I'm very excited about. The one benefit of these ring mandrels is that I can take my ring sizers or a ready-made ring, and it doesn't matter if I'm doing this on a square mandrel or if I'm doing it on a round mandrel, the size is going to be consistent and be the same on each one of them. Now in this case, I also have the Pepetools ring sizers, which again are calibrated to this. Why is that so important? Well, here at the front of your desk, your front counter, you can have the aluminum ring mandrel, which is much lighter and easier to hold for your sales clerks. And then back in the back for the jeweler, you can have the steel mandrel, which then can be forged or hammered on as well. Some of the different features of each of these is that the steel mandrels are made out of a high-grade steel that are then plated and engraved, so you can very easily see your markings. But the thing that's nice about these is that it's smooth. I've had a lot of different ring mandrels that I've used that have really deep grooves, and the rings will get caught into those and it can create mars and marks that then have to be buffed and polished and sanded back out. And that's just not the case with these. Also, with the aluminum mandrels, they have been made with aircraft quality aluminum, calibrated to match perfectly with the steel mandrels. They are hard anodized to give your surface hardness to equal steel, and with proper use, they won't discolor or scratch. Now, one of the things that you want to kind of keep in mind, I told you a little bit about how you can check the sizing on this. So in this case, I have a small round ring, and it's about 6.5. And if I take this even to a square mandrel, you will see that the size is still perfectly a 6.5. Now, if I were to take a square ring, one that I've made on the square mandrel, then it's going to be just a little bit different. So in this case, I have a 7.5 square ring. But if I am to take this onto a round mandrel, because of the shaping of the ring itself, it only shows a 5.5. So the round rings are going to be equal on each of these. But the square rings, you are definitely going to need to measure on a square mandrel. And that is because that they are made just a little bit differently. Now, some people will kind of ask, why a square ring? What would be the benefit for that? In my own personal experience, people who have larger knuckles due to things like arthritis or different types of conditions that have those large knuckles, they will have an easier time getting a square ring on because they can take and they can rotate it so that they can get that over a larger knuckle, and it still is very comfortable to wear. So that's something that you may want to consider adding to your jewelry tools if you have not already. Now, in addition to the mandrels themselves being fantastic, I also am very excited about their packaging. While that might be something that's very simple, some people will throw away, I happen to travel quite a bit with my workshops, and so now I can just take my mandrels, stick them each into their package, throw that into my toolbox, and go and not worry about my tools being damaged.